And Ron mentioned the Netherlands. There was a big electoral test there. Voters there came out in record numbers on Wednesday to deliver a victory to the incumbent, the Prime Minister Mark Rutte and his conservative VVD party. Now, why was the world watching? It was to see how the far-right populist Geert Wilders was going to do, and he did not do as well as expected in this pivotal election. He came in a pretty distant second. Now, his extreme views on barring Muslim immigration clearly failed to persuade Dutch voters in the numbers that he'd hoped. Atika Schubert reports from The Hague.
A triumphant entrance by the night's winner, reminiscent of U.S. President Donald Trump in style, but not in substance, as Prime Minister Mark Rutte pointed out in his victory speech.
This night is a night for the Netherlands. After Brexit, after the American elections, where we said stop it to the wrong type of populism.
Celebrations long into the night as Rutte supporters credit him for stopping the anti-immigration, anti-EU populism of Geert Wilders right in its tracks.
De winnaar geworden van de verkiezingen.
Rutte may have staved off the threat of populism championed by Geert Wilders, the leader of the far-right Party for Freedom. But Wilders hasn't been silenced. He has increased the PVV's share of seats by 5 to 20, and he has succeeded over the years in pushing other parties further to the right in their attempt to counter him.
If they need me, or if they need the PVV for talks, then I am happy to take part. If not, then they haven't gotten rid of me yet. With more people, with 19 to 20 people in Parliament, we will have a strong opposition against the cabinet, and we will make their lives difficult every day.
Having topped the polls during the campaign, it was thought big gains by Wilders could be the sign of further populist gains across Europe. So far as attracting unprecedented attention from the world's media on these elections.
We want to take you live now to the Netherlands.
A first for this small country. Buoyed by issues like Dutch identity and with the surprise of Brexit in mind, voter turnout was the highest in decades. A fractured populace allowed fringe parties to come out with big gains. The left-leaning Green Party winning the biggest municipality, Amsterdam, outright. But one theme dominated the night.
Populism here in the Netherlands has stopped, and I am very happy with that.
With no one party winning a clear majority, negotiations to form a multi-coalition government will now get underway and could continue for some time. Though Wilders says he is willing to be part of a coalition, that is unlikely to happen. All the major parties have pledged not to work with him. Atika Schubert, CNN, The Hague.
Arend Jan Boekestijn, a lecturer at Utrecht University, is in The Hague. Arend, thanks for being with us. First of all, when you saw the results, the party of the Prime Minister didn't do as well as last election, but came out first. So has this populist wave sort of stopped with the Netherlands, do you think?
It seems like it. It seems that the international populist tide, starting with Brexit and Trump, has stopped in the Netherlands. But the reason why Rutte's party, is a conservative liberal party, has done so well is rather peculiar and rather specific, because it's very much linked to this unprecedented diplomatic row between the Netherlands and Turkey over the weekend.
Yeah.
So it could have all been very different.
So the row you're referring to is when the government of the Netherlands refused to grant landing rights to the Turkish foreign minister to come campaign with Turkish Dutch citizens ahead of a referendum in Turkey that would expand the powers of the president. So what the Prime Minister did is he stood up to President Erdogan, and you're saying politically that helped him.
That helped him enormously. Many people in the Netherlands felt that the Turks went too far. They heard that Erdogan was already speaking about imposing sanctions on the Dutch, and then our diplomats refused to negotiate under threat, and then the government decided not to grant the Turkish minister landing rights. Now, this decisive stance has greatly influenced and greatly boosted the votes for the Conservative Party of the Prime Minister.
But Arend, what's interesting is what you're saying is that had there not been this unexpected, unusual, pretty unique event, which was this big row with Turkey, that potentially we could have seen Geert Wilders do a lot better.
I think you can never prove a counterfactual, of course.
That's
but
true.
It seems that 33 seats, Prime Minister got 33 seats out of 150. It could easily have been 25 for him if this row would not have happened. And also, Wilders could have had more than 19. So it's really, historians will write books about this very, very impressive weekend we had.
But what I thought was interesting, too, and I just got back from the Netherlands, is that, you know, yes, Geert Wilders got his 21 seats, the Prime Minister's party got the 33 seats, etc. But then we saw all these other smaller parties. The Greens, for instance, I think they tripled the number of seats with their very young 30-year-old leader of Moroccan, Indonesian origin, etc. So there is a completely different side of Dutch politics in those smaller parties, and they're gaining a lot of traction.
Yeah, but only the Green Party has quadrupled. Mm-hmm. If you look at the left, at the total left parties, then they decreased in the number of seats they have. It seems to me that we will have a four-party cabinet consisting of the Conservatives, of Liberals, of Christian Democrats, and a small Christian party, or perhaps also the Greens. And that means that the establishment has won. It will be a continuation of the things we've had.
I'm just sorry to jump in. When you say the establishment has won, we haven't heard that line in a really long time in a Western democracy. It's been the case for the last year and a half that the establishment has been getting trounced.
Yes, but on the other hand, Wilders has managed to influence the policy lines and all the statements of the mainstream parties. That the Prime Minister himself said during the elections to people, if immigrants don't like our norms and values, please go. These were very tough lines.
Yeah.
So what we see is that some ideas of Wilders are now becoming part also of the mainstream parties.
Right. Even Wilders himself says, even if I don't get the number of seats that, you know, are as predicted, I've won already, because they're all talking about what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Arend. Yes? Oh, go ahead, finish your thought.
There's a big difference, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Arend Jan Boekestijn, thank you, of Utrecht University. A pleasure having you on the program this evening. Up next, the U.S. Secretary of State says there is a need for a new approach with North Korea.